What is going on, guys? It's me, Mojo Jojo, back again with some more Total Extreme Wrestling here on the channel. We're back with 21st Century Wrestling. Sorry if I sound a bit funny today, I have a little bit of a cold, but what can you do? Anyway, this is London Calling, our second pay-per-view of the save, and I've managed to get everyone on the show by basically teasing and cheating the game, just like everyone does. You know, I've put a battle royal, is what I'm saying. Anyway, we are live in front of 42,000 people in London. Nice. Not a bad amount. We have 3 pre-show matches. We have the Union, which is this new tag team I signed Landon Mallory and Conrad McKinnon to. I call them the Union because they're both from Europe. That makes sense. Versus Hot Stuff. Hot Stuff, who aren't on the show tonight. Technically, they're on the pre-show that's not really televised, but yeah. But in a decent match, Hot Stuff defeated the Union when Buff Martinez pinned Conrad McKinnon with a heat seeker. And even though these guys have no popularity whatsoever, they are pouring in some amazing match ratings. These guys are the future. Watch this space, they're the future of 21st Century Wrestling. Or at least Landon Mallory definitely is. Just everything went well apart from inconsistency. Next segment, we had a fatal 4-way match where Michael X defeated Joe Simpson, Beast Bantam, and Compton Valance when Michael X pinned Compton Valance with an XDT. Valance was the weak link. Yeah, that's fair. Joe Simpson got 58, Michael X got 54. Beast Bantam got a 66 and Valance with a 35. Now, this one, I didn't pick a winner. I literally just let it as it is. Because honestly, pre-show matches, they don't really matter, let's be honest. I just wanted to see what kind of ratings these guys would get. They're not awful. Especially Valance, who done better than I thought he would. And then we have the Battle Royal, where Philip Cooper won the Battle Royal. God damn it. Even when I don't book him to win, he wins. Oh, I love this whole Philip Cooper is very lucky stuff. It's funny. So, Philip Cooper won the Battle Royal in 20 minutes. The other members of the Final Four were Lance Martin, Kenny Martin, and Victor Bischoff. With Lance Martin being the final elimination. Victor Bischoff got the most eliminations. I should have picked that. I don't know why I didn't, but Philip Cooper. What is this luck, and how does he keep winning? I need to do something with that, don't I? I mean, I kind of am, but yeah. Then we have our first segment of the show. It didn't... damn it. I forgot to set this as part of a storyline moving forward. Kinda sucks. Okay. So, we're going to have a few of these segments overnight, because if you saw on the previous 2 shows, Edward Cornell's got a mystery opponent. He's trying to figure out who he is. So, Edward is walking around backstage with Eddie, who's just arrived, where he bumps into Sebastian Collar, who is warming up and ready to go to the ring. When Edward Cornell just walks up to Sebastian Collar and goes, Seb, my friend, are you, has Tommy spoke to you recently? They're not actually friends, he's just acting it up. It's like, yeah, as Tommy spoke to you recently, Seb, I mean, any plans for the main event tonight? Sebastian Collar just kind of ignores him, because he's in his own head getting ready for the match. It was Edward Cornell just stands in front of him again and just questions him, saying, come on, Seb, you can tell me if you're my friend, you can tell me. I'm your friend, right? Sebastian just shakes his head and says, I've got other things to deal with. And Edward Cornell leaves in a huff, basically, frustrated, tells Eddie to go and scour the locker room to find people whilst he looks himself. And then we come into our first match. Pretty decent match. This was supposed to be the end of the storyline. I forgot to do that. Where we have the end of the Too Cool storyline. In a match that had fantastic heat and good wrestling, Luke Cool has won the match, defeating Lee Burton and Sebastian Collar when Luke Cool pinned Sebastian Collar with a cool cutter, following interference from Holly Levies. So I think we've figured out who who Holly Levy's is going to be sticking around with. She likes Luke Cool. Luke Cool took her out to a nightclub. Sebastian Collar just played a song that got interrupted, and Lee Burton just showed her pictures of himself. Yeah, I'd agree with that as well, to be honest. But yeah, Luke Cool has a new manager, valet, girlfriend, whatever you want to call her. That was supposed to be the end of the storyline, but whoops. So how I'm imagining this is Sebastian Collar was on top of everyone, Lee Burton out the ring, Luke Cool down on the mat, when Holly Levy gestures him over, to give him a hug, give him a kiss or something, distracts Collar enough for Luke Cool to get up to his feet and hit the cool cutter to win. They have good chemistry as well, that's why I wanted to put them together. Very good. Announcing quality is low, but I'll fix that as this storyline that is part of the show continues. Up next, we have Hellbound here once again, advancing the storyline a bit. Jonathan Forster's amazing at talking, where he says he is disappointed. He has heard the news that Evan Allpass is not going to be here tonight. He's a coward. He's scared. He's scared of Hellbound. He's scared of the three most powerful men in 21st century wrestling. And yeah, I'm disappointed. And he tells the other rising stars, I mean, if you guys just want to go home, you can go. We don't need to hurt you anymore. We're just, I don't know, any more than we have to, is what I meant to say. But if you continue and come to the ring for this match, then we'll have no choice. We'll have no choice but to teach you a real lesson. So I hope you make the right choice. Now, the Rising Stars are not going to make the right choice. They're going to go down to the ring anyway. And it is a 3-on-2 handicap match. Obviously, for those that don't know, 2 shows ago, I believe, Evan Allpass was suspended for steroids. So that's why he's not here. I wanted to go down the route of WWE with their wellness policy, yada yada. I don't know if they still do that. I'm pretty sure they do, but that was my thinking. And yeah, unfortunately, Evan Allpass is suspended, so he couldn't make the show today, but I still wanted this feud to continue. So we have a triple threat match. And we finally have a message that they're all guys that shouldn't be here. They're guys that shouldn't be on the main show. We usually get that message saying the crowd's quite annoyed that these people are here and they shouldn't be. Probably because Bedlam's in this match instead of last time when he wasn't. Yeah, that was a good call to put Bedlam in the match still. So in a match that had a decent reaction but terrible wrestling, despite Darren Flynn being brilliant, Hellbound of Bedlam, Blackheart and Gravedigger have defeated Boulder and Flynn in a handicap match in 12 minutes, when Gravedigger pinned Darren Flynn with an RIP. Bedlam's head and shoulders above everyone else. Gravedigger's moving up though. I have plans for Gravedigger. He's a very threatening, angry man. So yeah, unfortunate for those guys. They lost the match. I was supposed to put another angle in here, but I ran out of time, so that angle will be coming in the future instead. So yeah, sorry about that. I ran out of pay-per-view time. Up next, we have a 73 rated match. This is a good one. This has gone very well. In the bout that had good wrestling, 3-Man Army have defeated Roly Mucklechuck and Crouching Storm Hidden Sifu in 18 minutes when Mark Adonis has pinned Sifu with an Adonis elbow, which I'm going to assume is like an elbow drop from the top rope. Mass Holt was the weak link. Yeah, he's not very good. But here's my thinking for this match, for how this would have gone down. Because it's a 6-man tag, and Roly and War Machine have some real beef going into it. Halfway through the match, we'll have War Machine will basically drag Roly off the apron, then they'll manhandle the other two for a little bit. Roly Mucklechuck then gets back, goes after War Machine, and they basically brawl out the back, leaving just the tag champs of the Men of Steel, Mark Adonis and Mass Hulk, and Crouch and Storm Hidden Sifu in the ring. And because Crouch and Storm Hidden Sifu have been the what's the word? They've been kind of the underdogs this whole time. They've been beaten down by War Machine, whilst Rowley was recovering. Then Mark Adonis hits the diving elbow drop, the Adonis drop, and picks up the win. Pretty decent match. I'm enjoying this feud. Sifu got 71, Ricky Storm got 73, Rowley got 61, War Machine got 66, Mark Adonis got 68, and Mass Hulk got 51. But because of the storyline and the good chemistry and everything, it's gone up to a 73 rated segment. Pretty decent. Then we have an angle where Kathleen Lee comes out with hot stuff and basically pulls out Jeff Nova and goes, "Hey Jeff, why are we not on the main show? I mean, you've got all these other tag teams that showed up, but why are we not here? We should have been on the main show. You can't even control these wrestlers. I mean, the last match was ruined because War Machine and Rowley have they just basically destroyed each other. Why didn't you not put a stop to that?" Jeff Nova just goes, "Okay, yeah, I get it, Kathleen. Just get out of here. We've got pay-per-view to run." Kathleen doesn't leave. She doesn't leave quietly, let's say. She has a go at him all the way up the ramp, down the mic. Before that cuts off, I think we have another segment here with Edward Cornell. So it gets cut off as we cut backstage to Edward Cornell is talking to Daniel Black Francis and Andrew Lee. I've kind of spoiled something here, I didn't mean to. Where Edward asks both of them, "Hey, you guys, you're on the show tonight. Are any of you my mystery partner for the main event? Please, I need to know. I mean, Tommy's not telling me. If it's that big a deal, I reckon he's just picked Tommy. He's picked Adam again, Adam Travers. Any of you guys, any plans for the main event?" Daniel Black Francis and Andrew Lee both shake their head and just say like, "Nah. I mean, we have bigger things to do at the moment. We've got to handle these guys before we go after your title." Daniel Black Francis says, "I will be coming for that title though. Just not tonight. I've got to deal with Apollo Prince first." Edward Cornell, they get into a little bit of a stare down backstage as Black Francis says that. But yeah. The segment ends as we go into Daniel Black Francis and Andrew Lee versus Apollo Prince and Brickhouse Boulder. Not a great match because Brickhouse Boulder couldn't go the distance because he is awful in every single way. I don't know why I put him in this angle, but who cares? They have excellent chemistry teaming together though, bloody hell. Might have a new tag team now if the singles push doesn't work out. So in a match that had great heat, decent wrestling, Daniel Black Francis and Andrew Lee drew with Apollo Prince and Brickhouse Boulder after a double disqualification after 18 minutes. So this match, let's say it was mainly DBF and Apollo Prince wrestling, and then the occasional appearance of Andrew Lee. And then Brickhouse Boulder got involved very slightly because he's not very good. And they just kind of... The finish would be all four of them in the ring at once, constantly like hitting each other and brawling. They brawl for ages. The referee has no choice but to throw the match out after another minute or two of them constantly like grappling in the ring. Security get involved, nothing happens. Security get involved, they can't help, and brawl just basically goes all the way up the ramp as the ref's just standing there in the ring like, what am I supposed to do? What else am I supposed to do here? Daniel Black Francis was off his game though, so because he's a bit inconsistent. It was penalised because Brickhouse Boulder has no stamina. But the feud continues, unfortunately for Apollo Prince and DBF. But yeah, I wanted to keep this going up until the next pay-per-view. So yeah, I've got a few matches that we'll see again on pay-per-view next time, but this tag team match isn't one of them, but the storyline continues. Then we have one more segment. It's Edward Cornell and Wade Orson. Wade Orson, who's in the, I guess, the semi-main event. Cornell just asks Wade Orson. He goes, "Hey Wade, buddy, you're in the main event with me, right?" Wade Orson just shakes his head and goes, "Nah, I've got to deal with Johnny." And Edward goes, "Seriously, you've got to deal with Rolling Johnny Stones. I could have dealt with him weeks ago. I mean, you're still doing that? It's been 2 months. Come on." Just basically having a go at Wade Orson, being kind of burying him, to be honest. But Wade Orson just goes, "Hey, he's been giving me trouble for the last 2 months. I'm here to make sure that I never have to deal with him again. So after tonight, trust me, I'm coming after your title. Just make sure that you retain it, because I wanna put you in your place, like I'm gonna do with Rolling Johnny Stones tonight." Another stare down as Wade Orson's music hits and he makes his way to the ring. Then we have our street fight, where Wade Orson and Rolling Johnny Stones, they have it's called a no DQ match, but it is a street fight. Pretty decent. Wade Orson defeats Rolling Johnny Stones with a bounce back after 16 minutes. We basically brawl, I guess, through the arena, maybe up through the crowd, up in, I forgot, the foyer where the crowd walk through. I forgot what the word's called, but you know what I mean. If you've ever been to a wrestling show, or you walk through to get to your seats, that area. There's bits where they're slamming each other into walls, into barricades, into like using chairs and other weapons. There's one point where Rolling Johnny Stones gets like a ketchup bottle and squeezes it over Wade Orson, and then throws food at him or something. And then Wade Orson takes him back to the ring eventually, hits a bounce back, and wins the match. And after the match, we have the end of the storyline. We have Wade Orson saying that he is completely done with RJS. He never wants to see him again, and that, come on, Johnny, you're not on this level. You need to get out of the main event, because you're not on this level anymore. Wade Orson basically drops the mic on Rolling Johnny Stones and walks away, ending their feud. Bit lackluster, I think, but yeah, Wade Orson needs to go on to better things, because I wanted to just kind of have this feud for a little bit, just to give Rolling Johnny something to do. It's not his main event feud. That might be it coming up in the future, but who knows. Then we go to our main event. We have the entirety of House of Black that are at the event tonight. Edward Cornell, Tommy Cornell, and BW Eddie. They come down to the ring. Edward Cornell still begging Tommy to tell him who his opponent is as they get in the ring. Tommy doesn't say anything. He just says, no, just be ready, don't worry. And Edward Cornell and BW Eddie they stand on the, what's the word? Like the ramp side of the ring, like the entrance ramp. When all of a sudden, was it an injury? The music of Tommy Cornell plays. And Edward Cornell sort of freezes and like slowly turns around to face Tommy, who is just standing there with a smirk on his face. And because unfortunately Edward Cornell is injured, he's kind of held back, unfortunately. So the main event's not as good as I thought it would be. Might have been a little bit too long as well. Yeah, it was a bit too long. Whoops. I should have only gone about 20 minutes. But yeah, the main event is unfortunately only a 77 rated, but we will run this again at some point in the near future, probably. In an exceptional match, after Tommy catches Edward Cornell by surprise, doing that nice and weird smirk that you have there, Tommy Cornell has defeated Edward Cornell with a guilt trip. That's a cool finishing move. And he wins the 21st Century World title. Edward will say, "Oh yeah, it's because I broke my finger. Don't worry, I wasn't 100%." No typical heel stuff, but Tommy Cornell, he starts to celebrate with the belt. Edward Cornell has been put in his place by Tommy, and yeah, that's how we end the show. Or is it? It's not actually. So after this, the entirety of House of Black starts. BWAD comes in, starts attacking Tommy, trying to get the belt off him. Tommy Cornell, he ends up, beating Eddie away because he's better than Eddie. Let's be honest. Edward Cornell gets back up and then starts fighting with him again to make sure that he doesn't walk away with the title. And as Tommy knocks Edward down again, we get a man sneaks into the ring from behind Tommy and basically gets him in some sort of sleeper hold or something like that, like a sleeper hold or like a guillotine or something from behind. Basically chokes Tommy Cornell out and leaves him lifeless in the ring. It's the return of Doomsday. He's finally back. He's finally part of this storyline. For those that don't know, he was away for the first month due to personal issues. And this month I kind of wanted to save his return for this. He is the powerhouse of House of Business. And once Tommy is out cold on the ground, Edward Cornell picks up the title again and just basically leaves Tommy Cornell there on the ground to finish the show. The show itself is unfortunately only a 76 because the main event kind of ruined it because Edward Cornell was injured, but I knew that would happen. I booked it a little bit too long. I really shouldn't have. The rest of the matches were kind of weak, unfortunately. But now that we've got people out of storylines that they don't need to be in, now the real business starts. We can get more people over. We can have more single storylines instead of the weird one I done with the weird triple date and stuff. But yeah, I'll make a speech. I'm going to say Tommy Cornell, he had a good performance. He was great. Edward was good. And who else was good? I'm going to say... No, I'm just going to do them because I don't know who else. So that is the end of the second pay-per-view. It's unfortunate that the main event wasn't as good as I thought it'd be. Hopefully in the future we'll get a better one if that happens. Who knows? Tommy Cornell is very good. Time to heal. Yeah. God damn, everyone wants to heal. Right, pay-per-view buy rate. Nice. We had 190,000 pay-per-view buys, so that should hopefully bring in some money, because my god, we desperately need it. Let's go through the news quick. See if there's anything about the show, see what people think about it. It had a lot of praise. Now, who's failed a drug test this time? Oh no, I offered a contract extension to these guys, I forgot. So Ricky Storm, he signs a new contract, so does Mass Hulk. We are back up to the 7 million that we are. Pay-per-view ratings down. But we are... If I didn't spend 600k upgrading the training at the beginning of the month, would be fine. Sorry, I accidentally did 700k. We would be in the black or in the white or whatever it is this month. Make it basically a high rating. So we're not bleeding money yet, but the shows do need to get better. The pay-per-view needs to get better, definitely, because I'm quite disappointed with that main event. But obviously, Edward Cornell is slightly injured. Wish he wasn't, but that's a shame. We'll all very quickly go through the storyline ratings to see how they're all going before the episode ends. So the Apollo versus DBF is decent still. General Manager storyline's going good. Hellbound, oh god, that needs to improve. This one, I'm just gonna kind of drop, to be honest. How do I end? End storyline, I'm not doing that one anymore. This one, also, not really. War of the Cornells has dropped significantly. That's a problem. Three-Man Army is still doing good, thanks to the great match and the brawl and everything. Too Cool. This is good. However, it's also over now. So we got 5 storylines going forwards. Apollo versus DBF is going to continue. Hellbound. I'm just going to rename this to Hellbound. Just for the time being. War of the Cornells is going to continue at least another 1 pay-per-view. Who knows, maybe longer. And the Three-Man Army is going to continue as well with Rowley and the Men of Steel and War Machine. Look at creative quick, see if anything's changed. Probably go into more detail in the next episode. Tommy Cornell and Edward Cornell are the franchise players. Next big things: Mark Adonis, BW Eddie, and Lee Burton are on here. Okay. Hot prospects: Conrad Mackinnon, I can agree with that. Ricky Storm's on there, yeah, that's fair. Mass Hulk is also on there. Talk the Talk, yeah, I can agree with those 5, sorry. I'll come into more detail later on. Showstoppers, these are the best wrestlers. Looks pretty accurate to me. If you want to pause to read through them, you can. I'm once again more detail in the next episode. Ring Generals, more of the same. Who's hot? The Cornells, Lee Burton, Apollo, and Mark Adonis. Who's not? Everyone. And any hidden gems to hire? Not that I want to at the moment. Okay, so that is going to be it for this episode. That is the end of London Calling. The next episode is going to be a sort of state of the universe / just looking over the roster more to see how people are improving, how the popularity is changing, things like that. But yeah, hope you guys have enjoyed, and I will see you all in the next episode.